Welcome back to the channel. You can see the Scout in the back there. I'm going to do a walkthrough, talk about exactly what my plans are for this winter project. We got a bunch of things that we're going to do, but mostly I'm getting started this week and we're going to dive into it. But I'll do a walk around here, show you some of the things with it and what I intend to do. So give us a like and subscribe, as well as comment. Tell me what you think about my ideas and what we're trying, and let me know what you've done or what you think about what we're doing. There it is, 1980 International Scout Terra. Stay tuned. So when you take a closer look at this project, we have the grill. See, it's original grill, and of course it's plastic. It's got a number of its issues, namely stuff like this that needs to be addressed. I'm not sure if we're going to take it off and make a mold and recast it in fiberglass or something. I was thinking about maybe trying something like Kitec, which is that heavy plastic that's used for holsters. But we're also going to redo the front bumper. I've got some bent up pieces of steel from actually I salvaged from a piece of gym equipment that I think two of them stacked on top of each other is going to make an awesome front bumper for this. It sticks out a little bit, give us a spot to mount a winch down lower, and put some ends on it to wrap around, and I think it'll look pretty awesome. So that's that. Of course, we got to do things like get new corner marker lenses. Front ones look pretty good, but see back there, that one's missing. So body work, that's really not my thing, but we need to fix these holes in the fenders and in the quarter panel there. But we're going to strip this all down and get it looking nice and clean, fill it and block it, get it ready for a nice paint job when we get back to the corner garage. The front here, we've been looking at what we were going to do with the suspension wise, and right now, as you know, the Scouts are spring under, which means that you can see that means that the spring is under the axle. I was really considering about what to do there, whether we're going to get some re-arc springs and do a under lift and go all that route. But you know, I really like the ride of this rig, and I want to keep the stock springs, which are in fine shape. So I decided we're going to do a spring over axle swap, keep the stock springs, and that will give us about somewhere between a 5 and 6 inch lift. So when we get into that project, I'm not sure if I'm going to do it first or not, because the engine needs to get swapped out with the original diesel I have in the shop, but I'm really not set up and prepared to do that right at the moment. So what we might do is just do the spring over swap and not redo the axles, but just do that swap, and then when we get back up to Wyoming, pull them off, paint them up, clean them up, seals, bearings, all that sort of stuff, and get it going. But at least I can get this figured out over the winter. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. I want to make sure I have the 33s back on it for the road trip out, because man, this 75 miles an hour at 3,500 RPM is, yeah, that's a lot. Anyhow, this is going to be, you know, our remod here is going to be more like a truck. I was thinking about, you know, car wise, trying to make it more like a car, but decided to keep the T18 transmission. That's the wide ratio Borg Warner that came with it. You see, we got, you know, very little body work to do, but if you look down that line, you could see some dimples and stuff. This side's a little bit worse. You can see there's a crease, a couple of them in the fender. We've got some stuff down there in the bottom of the door and whatnot. The other side's got a really big wowie in the door that we've got to work on, but all in all, she's pretty clean. You know, there's not a whole lot to get excited about. That's probably the worst hole to repair, just because of the lines in the fender. But we'll see. You know, on the inside, it's all there, but you can see the hump in the floor. Whenever the guys took the diesel out and put the gas motor in, it shifted the position of everything, and now that shifter is way forward. So probably gonna have to go and source a new tonneau cover, because that one's got some holes in it, and of course it has this textured finish on it that if I do some welding and redo this one, I'll lose that finish. But we'll see. I'm also thinking about pulling this bench out, putting some bucket seats in there, and building a console for the center, something, have drink holders and storage bucket, that sort of thing. And the top, yes, the top. Now there's some issues there. If you look at that real closely, you can see daylight in there. I'm trying to capture that in this, but that is basically separated from the cab. So I've got to take that off and fix that up. If we look at the other side, it's much easier to see. You can see the daylight through there. And man, does she whistle. But that's something we got to figure out, how to reattach that and get that back in good working order, because that's really annoying. The dash, I'm considering doing a lot of modifications to this. There's no what'd you call it, in the modern cars it's called vent, that they have these vents in the front where your air conditioning comes out, or just to blow air. I'm thinking about taking this panel, modifying it, bringing it over to here, modified, and then have maybe some round or horizontal vents in a few locations along here that'll get some fresh air out of the dash, not just top and bottom. So of course that's going to take a blower door modification, that sort of thing. Maybe what we'll do is see if we can't find, watched a couple guys do a swap on took a 79 Ford and put a 98 Dodge heating and the control box from under the dash. They put the Dodge one into the Ford. So maybe we can find something like that. Some of these smaller vehicles, I think especially if you take something like a Nissan Sentra or a Ford Focus or something like that, all that stuff would be pretty small and might fit under there nice and easily. But we'll see. Also thinking about the steering, see if I can't get a column out of an XJ, because they use the same, and it really doesn't matter, I'm just familiar with Jeeps. But anyhow, it comes with cruise control on the, built all into the turn signal stock and everything, with the intermittent wiper. It's all one functioning switch. So I'm thinking about doing that so that I can eliminate, all this old school stuff, get something a little bit more, not necessarily modern, but looking to be functional. The dash, it's another thing. I'm gonna just have to spend some time doing some research how I can either redo this one or fix it up. but I want to do things like I did in the Cherokee, which is put an automatic mirror up here that has light control on it, which means I got to get power through here somewhere up to the up to the top for that. Overhead console, I want to put something up here that sunglasses storage or better lighting for the for the cabin, whether I build one or modify one from another vehicle. I don't know, we'll see how that goes, but some of the ideas that I have. As far as the doors go, we got these, had the original panels, and they're just mangled. I've got one in the shop still for a template to show you, but what I'm thinking is doing is making some wooden so I don't know if you ever seen it, is a strip canoe. You take little wood strips and you stack them all up and glue them together, and it's striped canoe out of wood. I'm thinking about doing something like that for these door panels, because I want to have some more rigid, like in the more modern cars, where there's some storage in the bottom, that there's a speaker port in the door where the speaker can reflect back to you, something to get a little bit better sound quality in this. And then I also want to figure out how to do power windows on these big old heavy IH windows. Of course, laminated glass, the thing weighs 20 pounds or whatever it is. But I'll invent something. On the other side, the driver's door, it's all the same. You can see that split in the center up there. You got to do something to reinforce that so that flexing doesn't do that again. But anyhow, that skin on that door needs to come off because of the big old scrape in it, so I can hammer it out and get it right. So I'm gonna have to learn how to take that skin off that door and make that work out. And at that time is when I'll invent something for the power window scheme, see what that looks like and how that's going to work. But otherwise, this is our project. I'm not going to get into the engine compartment and what we're going to do up there, because like I said, we've got the diesel in the shop there that we're going to prepare and put in. It'll bolt directly up to this T18. That'll leave us sticking with the 300 transfer case, and I plugged in the numbers to Dana's transmission gear program online, and the numbers work out pretty good, even with a 4-speed. With the diesel at 2400, which is peak, we'll be doing something like 75 miles an hour. So that works out good with the engine specs and its parameters and what we're doing here. The only thing I have some mild concerns about is a third gear downshift. When you're pulling the hill, you go from 2400 at, so I think it's 73 miles an hour, but when you shift into third, man, you drop from 73 to 55 at $3,000. So it's a little bit of a jump there, but we're going to try it and see. Some of the things I found online is that you could get that little diesel to perform as good as a 304 or 345. So I think if we can get performance out of that Nissan diesel to be similar to the 304 it's in it, we'll have a successful platform here. So it's just something we'll have to try out, see how it goes. In the back here, you can see the bed. I don't think I'm going to do anything with the main panel. There's all that porpoising in there from people throwing stuff in it and making a mess. I think I'm just going to leave that, keep it like it is. But over here on this edge, you can see that that's all flat metal. So if I grind this off of here and cut it off over here and do some, just a flat strip of metal, it'll look, won't look original, but I can make it look really good and not be taking this all apart to fix this. So, if I was making a vehicle for Barrett Jackson, I'd, pull these all out and completely redo it, but we're not going there. Fender wells look pretty good. I got to do some fabrication back there in the corners. Somebody put that piece of angle in there. We've got one on the other side as well. So we'll have to go through and redo all that stuff and do some bracing and whatnot. The top, we've got this black stuff on here. Not sure what we're gonna do about that. I think I'm gonna take one of those plastic wire wheels and do a test, see if I can get that off, or maybe do some chemical work and see if we can remove all that black stuff and then just reshoot it with some flat white paint. Of course, we get some gasket kits and stuff and redo the window and door gaskets. I'm up in the air about the mirrors. These are the original mirrors. But I say I was gonna keep the truck motif going with this one, so it'd probably be appropriate to keep those mirrors. But one of the things on this side is that this vent window strikes the edge of the mirror, and that's annoying. And then the other thing is the mirror on the other side, of course, is when you sit in the seat, you're looking through the vent window. Probably can't really illustrate it from here, but you can look at that and see. Everybody with a Scout knows that that's how those things are mounted. So I don't know, maybe we'll move them back 8 or 10 inches or something like that. Yeah, I don't know, it's up in the air. Maybe make a comment, let me know what you think. Yeah, that's our project. That's what we're looking to do, and I'm going to get started on it here this week. So I've got a few things I've got to take care of business wise in the office, but this is our Scout project and it's getting underway. Stay tuned for more.